Hey there folks, I'm Eric Osberg with the Outdoor Report, and for a long time I've wanted to make a video about grilling the perfect steak. So what I've got here is a New York strip. I like New York strip. It just seems to hold up on the grill a little bit better. And the process for grilling the perfect steak is a long process. It's 3 hours before we're gonna eat. So here's number one. 3 hours before you're gonna grill your steak, you take the steak out and you take a paper towel and you pat off the juices, basically. Now this might seem counterproductive, but bear with me. So you get the one side clean, then you pat dry the other side, throw it on a plate, and you're gonna take some salt. I prefer kosher salt. And you're gonna salt this thing. Not a lot, but enough. Then I'm gonna put it in the fridge, and then we'll move to step 2. There you go. Alright, so it's been about an hour. So we're gonna take our steak out of the fridge. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but the juices have started to come out of it. Now again, this might seem counterproductive, but there's some magic happening. So then again, you take a paper towel and then you just pat it dry. So again, the key to this is it was an hour later. So we patted it, salted it, put it in the fridge, and then an hour later, ballpark, you pat it, salt it. Again, you don't want to put too much on because you're going to salt it multiple times. And I don't know the science behind this, but I believe that putting that salt on there gets the enzymes working and moving, and it kind of brings it back to life. So we've patted it and salted it. We're going to put it back in the fridge one more time. Alright, so it's been another hour. It is now 4:57. We missed our hour by 1 minute, but that's okay. So, and I don't know if, can you see this in the light? See how that juice is coming off of there? And it's starting to set up a little bit. Okay, can you see that? All those juices. And again, you might be like, well, Eric, I want my steak juicy. Trust me, this will be juicy. So one more time, we're going to pat it dry. We're going to get that stuff off of there. Try to get it off the plate too a little bit. And if you didn't want to salt it one more time, you wouldn't have to. But I'm going to. Again, since I'm salting it so much, I'm not putting a ton on there, because I've got one more step in the process. So this is the third time that we have salted it. Again, not a ton of salt. The garlic, that's for something else. And basically what we're trying to get those enzymes to wake up and start moving and moving around, get the juices flowing. We're gonna put it back in the fridge, and then with half an hour before I put it on the grill, I'm gonna take it out of the fridge and I'm gonna let it sit on the counter. Now some people, oh, that can't do that, it's terrible, bacteria. Well, to each their own, right? I'm going to do that. So I'm gonna take it out half hour before I'm putting it on the grill, and I'm gonna let it get to room temperature, and I'll explain more about that. Alright, so we're gonna put this thing on pretty soon. So I'm gonna take it out of the fridge. Look at that. Look at how juicy that is. It's glistening. So again, some might say that this is not in your health's best interest to leave it out and get to room temperature, but I believe it is. And so I'm gonna let it get to room temperature. Alright, so this has sat out for a half an hour. And this, if you're wondering what the garlic was for, it was for some shrimp. So we're gonna go put this on the grill. All right, so you'll have to forgive me if the grill is a little dirty. I couldn't find the brush. So anyways, the grill's hot, ready to go. If you're wondering how you got to get charcoal hot, you absolutely positively need one of these chimneys. Put 2 full newspaper pages in the bottom, fill it up, light it up, you're good to go. So one more time, we're gonna dab this. Dry. See, so again, those enzymes are forcing that juice up through there. And since we are making it do that, it's doing it more often. So now let's put some salt and pepper. There's the shrimp that's ready to go. Don't be afraid to put a little extra pepper on there. Soak it all up. Now you might be saying, geez, Eric, that's a lot of salt to go on a piece of meat. That's not healthy. Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I rubbed it off every time, basically. So now we're going to throw this on the... And notice we've got a hot side and a cold side. So if things get out of hand, I can always go over there. Alright, so we got the shrimp and pretty much a full clove of garlic and some butter and some salt and pepper. As you can see, the garlic. Shrimp doesn't take very long to cook. You can already see it, instead of being gray, now it's red, orange. As far as the steak goes, here's a trick for you. See that? See that? It hangs up there. As far as the steak goes, we're looking pretty good. Things got a little hot, so I put it over on this side over here. It hasn't been very long. I don't know how much time I've been running around dealing with stuff. So, oh yeah, she's done. A little on the rare side, but you can see. Oh, that's nummy taste right there. Go back to those shrimp. Ah! Come on, man. Really want to try to get a char on those. Once again, don't have to put the lid on the ground. Put it right there. Grab the steak. And now comes arguably the most important part. Those guys are doing fine. I'll leave them there for a little bit. So here comes the most important part to the juiciest steak ever. You gotta cover it and let it rest at least 10 minutes. 10 minutes? I'm hungry now. Well, it's gonna be another 10 minutes. Voila. Here, you want to taste it? Hot. That's hot. Hot. All right, so it's the moment of truth. This steak has been a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, look at that. We got juice on the plate. It's a little red, but I don't know, maybe a little underdone. We'll find out. That doesn't look underdone to me. That looks absolutely perfect. And you see that ring around it? See how it's uniform throughout? That's what bringing it to room temperature will do. is instead of the inside being super, super cold, now the whole steak is relatively the same temperature. So if you want to make the juiciest steak you've ever made in your life, it is a long process, but you start by patting it dry, put some salt on there. This is 3 hours ahead of time. Then an hour later, you pat it dry again, just a little bit more salt on there, gets those juices flowing. I highly recommend using charcoal versus gas. And yeah, just put some salt and pepper on it, get a good char on each side, and you'll end up with the juiciest steak ever.